Hi, Tom Cole, and welcome into another edition of Steve Taylor's Community Connection. And you know, it's such an honor to do these. We get to talk about great people in our area, in our community that lift people up, that make a difference every day. And it's even, I think, more impactful to me personally when you know someone and you know exactly what they've done in the community and how they've gone about it. And that's our show today, Mr. Brad Fields, who is. Gosh, he's a kind of a Renaissance man. Brad, you own Netty's. Is that the one on South Detroit, Fearing?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, Fearing in South Detroit. So owns Netty's, runs a great business, employs people in our community and treats them so well. Is co-owner of the Toledo Thunder, which is one of the, you wouldn't say it, but because you don't brag, but it's one of the best semi-pro football teams, not in the area, but in the country, in the United States. And if you know anything about the semi-pro deal, it's difficult to do. You've been so successful. Do you know the win-loss? It's incredible.
Oh, wow.
How many games have you lost in how many years? You've lost like
12 games in 6 years.
That's Vince Lombardi stuff. But what always struck me about Brad is his big heart, his willingness to give back at a drop of a hat. Like he came in today for our interview, and oh, by the way, what did you bring, Brad?
Oh, some chili dogs.
Yeah, 30 chili dogs. Now, he knew that I was going to eat 27 of them, but yeah, that's just Brad. That's who he is. And you've given to so many charities. I want to list some of the charities, Brad, that you've given to.
I do a little bit of lot, and I stay local, of course. That's where the most help is needed.
Yes.
Bundles of Love, Live Your Dream Foundation, which is the Dickman Foundation for the firefighters.
Parker's Purpose
also, which is an amazing foundation. Just did a fundraiser for Anthony Dia Foundation for the TPT officers. That was a couple weeks ago at the Blarney. And a few other small ones, City Park League with Montreal, so they're to try to help those kids out, stay out of trouble, stuff like that. So.
And I know you do with police officers and kids that you help with ice cream and those things when the police get together and talk to the kids.
Yeah.
And try and establish a neighborhood trust deal, which we need today,
Huge,
right?
Very big, yeah.
Yeah, it's very big. So establishing all this giving that you do, and we should talk. I have the privilege of interviewing your wife, Ava, and when she was at the football games and when I was doing the broadcast, and no person is successful, and I don't think you'd be the first guy to admit this, without the support that you get from your wife, and she supports everything that you do, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she supports some of it, and of course I hear about some of it too.
The football stuff is tough. I've been.
She's amazing, and I said I cannot do any of this without her also.
Yeah.
So.
And you have a 3-year-old son who's.
You interviewed him.
I interviewed him, and it was it was one of the cooler things. I've gotten to interview about 10,000 people, and so I'm interviewing Brad after the game. He's holding Cooper, his son, who I don't know how would Cooper.
Probably 3-4 months old.
Yeah, 3 or 4. So I've got the microphone, and Brad's right here, and we're doing this. I've got a stick mic, and we're doing this back and forth. He's holding Cooper, so I'm doing this, and Brad's talking, and Cooper takes the mic, literally grabs it and puts it in his mouth, and he's chewing on the mic as we're doing the interview. It was the coolest thing going. And I think like Dad was a very good football player. Also played quarterback, right? Played a little quarterback. Yep. And Coop, maybe he's quarterback or linebacker. I don't know what he's going to be.
He's a daredevil, so he might play defense.
Yeah, be a linebacker possibly.
He might, yeah.
Brad, your giving heart is so pronounced. That doesn't just happen. You don't wake up one day and somebody hits you with a wand and says, "Oh, you're going to go out and give to people today." That's a process. That's a cultural process. Who instilled that in you? Where did that desire to give come from?
Oh, my mom, of course. And then you look at, I grew up, my mom raised 3 kids by herself, and then do without. We didn't do without. So I want to say,
I know what you're saying.
My mom worked very hard, and so I feel I'm at the point in my life where I can help somebody, maybe as a kid or even an adult. So
yeah, it's so we hit it off from day one when we first met, and a similar experience. My mom raised 5 basically on her own, so it does make you see the world differently and their sacrifice and what they went through to allow you to be successful. What's the biggest thrill that you've gotten in a charity event, Brad?
See, I wouldn't say it was an event. I think I told you in the summertime, I'm out. If I get off of work, I'll drive around the neighborhood. And one time, I was driving around the neighborhood. These guys on Nebraska, and I think Nebraska and Detroit it was. a group of people playing basketball. This guy leading a bunch of kids. I stopped by there and say, hey, are these your kids? Said, yes. This is amazing. I give them gift cards. I do that every once in a while. I drive around the neighborhood, and I love seeing fathers and mothers and interacting with the kids. It's so special. So.
Well, you're making, Al, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but we had a thing that was called Angels, and it was a great project. It was over Christmas, and it was held at a restaurant, and you just happened to be in picking up food that day, on takeout, right? Yeah. So Brad sits down at our table. China, you were there, you remember. China's giving me a thumbs up. And Brad says, what's up, what's going on? We told him about the Angels was a great project. And Brad opens the wallet, he gets his takeout, and then contributes to Angels and out the door. So to me, that always typifies you, Brad. Anything that is a good cause, you're always there. We appreciate you so much in the community. You run a business the way it should be run. You treat people the way they should be treated. And we get enough people doing that, the rising tide lifts all boats. We're gonna be much better off in our community. And I don't want to embarrass you, but Steve is going to pick up the second part of this interview. And you've said to me many times, that you look up to Steve, a little bit of a hero in the way that he goes about doing things and the way he's helped people. And I would say that you're not alone. I know that I look at Steve that way, Cross does, China, Casey, Nick, all of us, look up to Steve. He has that kind of giving heart that if it's a good story, it's a good situation, boom, he's in. You don't have to cajole him, you don't have to beg him. He just says, yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome.
And you do the same thing. So we'll pick the second part of this up with Steve, and you'll be great. Thanks, Brad,
thanks,
for being a Steve Taylor Community Connection.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Steve Taylor here with Steve Taylor's Community Connection. I'm here with Brad Fields from Netty's, but Brad, you're known for so much more than just hot dogs and ice cream, right? Tom talked a little bit about some of the things you've done in the community, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We follow some of the things that you do. Tom's been talking about it, for a number of years. Tell me maybe a story that sticks out in your mind or something that jumps out in one of the community events that you've been involved with, or maybe just one of those personal stories that said, I love doing things like this, and this is what really drives me and wants me to continue to do more of these great ideas. You got anything like that?
It's hard to pick one, but one event I like every year we do is called Cones for Cops.
Okay.
The police officers come down, cheap crawl, and we invite all the kids down for free ice cream.
Nice.
And it's a nice interaction between the kids and the officers. They're good people. So they're not afraid. They know someone they can go to. And it's just a great event. We get a lot of kids out there. Even people in the community will come out also talk to the officers, any issues in the neighborhood, and it's just a great event.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Just one of the many that you do, like you said, hard to pinpoint just one success story. But you have been so giving in our community, and what we try to do on this show is raise awareness for people in the community like yourself that really do a great job and stand out and just give back. One of the other things we like to do is raise awareness of organizations that you're involved with. So there's so many to name, but let's talk a little bit about the football too. Because I think it's one of our best kept secrets in Northwest Ohio is the success of this football team. And you're one of the co-owners there?
Yes, I am.
Talk a little bit more about the success and the team and how people can learn more about it.
All right, well, Jamie Young and I, we started this team in 2015. Our first year was very successful. We went undefeated. Went down to Florida, ranked number 1 in the nation, played for the national championship. And ever since then, we continued the winning caliber. But one thing that's different that we do is we're a nonprofit, and all the proceeds from our games, we donate to local charities, try to help somebody out.
That's
and we make the guys in our football team also do community service.
Yep.
So got to whether it's picking up garbage or serving food to the homeless or whatever we're needed, that's what we do.
That's awesome. So. That's fantastic. Well, I know you brought the team out when we had our Steve Taylor High School Stars of the Week. We had a bunch of them come at the end of the year 2 years ago, and you were nice enough to bring out some of the players, and they got to interact with the high school kids. Where do most of the players of your team come from? Are they a lot of local kids?
Yeah, 90% local.
Okay.
I get some guys from Detroit and Lima or Indiana, but 90% of the kids are from Toledo area.
Yeah. And where do you play?
This year, hopefully play at Scott High School. In the past, we played all over at UT, Wade, Woodward, all over. But this year, we're planning on playing at Scott High School.
Okay, good. And when's the season start?
May 1st will be the first Wade game. May 8th will be the first home game. So we're trying to raise money for, actually, speaking of Scott, we're trying to raise money for Scott's weight room. That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, nice. So a lot of fun with the guys, but also giving back to the community just one more way that you're helping out. That's awesome. Let's talk. I know you don't like to promote your business, but let's talk about Netty's too. And I mean, this is a staple in our community, right? A place that people can go get great food, have fun, not spend a lot of money too, right?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about your business.
Well, been around for 42 years. I've only owned my location for 7 years.
Okay.
Just a great People who founded are still involved. Great people.
Nice.
They do a lot of stuff. Anytime I need help in the community, they offer to help. And all the other owners do a great job also.
Yeah.
So I just love it. It's just great to go to work. I love working with the kids. A lot of kids I have, been there for, over 7 years. I took over, and they graduate college, still have jobs, but they like it so much. Plus, they like the extra income. They still work there.
Right.
So it's amazing.
That's perfect. Well, I heard somebody say, a successful person said, if you like what you do and you're good at it, you never have to work a day in your life. So it sounds like you and I might be in the same boat where we enjoy what we do. We get to help a lot of people and have some fun while we're doing it.
Correct.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being on the show today. It's awesome to get to know you a little better. Thank you for the dogs also. We'll see if we can sneak any of those away from Tom Cole, though, huh? We might have to follow you back to the shop to get a few more for the rest of the staff. Thanks a lot for coming out, Brad, and thanks for tuning in to another edition of Steve Taylor's Community Connection. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.